Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up, I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. Never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? How's it going? What's up? You finally get to watch one of these. It's crazy. Well, you picked one heck of a show to start watching. Brought oranges. I brought the halftime snack. Heck yeah. Happy Monday. Thank you, thank you. Yep. That's what happens when you get when you use your actual like fancy camera to do your Zoom calls. New house pog, true that. New house, new digs.
Swear I won't forget this. Why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless.
So clear looking. That's the goal. That is the goal. Let's see. So, as you noticed, probably by now. Hey, thank you for the subs, Harry. Yeah. Woo. Samurai Tank. Miss my face. Thanks. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate you. All right. So if you haven't noticed, I don't have a list of topics today. But guess what I want to do instead? Oh my gosh, Jacob's here too? What I want to do instead is kind of have an open mic and kind of let someone who has a hot take come on and discuss. What does everybody think about that? I'm going to allow other people to take the mic and give me some hot takes, and we're going to talk about it. We'll see how many we can fit into this show. Terrifying? Well, it could be terrifying. It could mark the end of Bantor with Antor. I don't know. So, I want to throw that out there. If someone has a hot take, go into my Discord. There is a voice channel called Green Room. If you're ready to chat, go there. I'll pull you into the live show, and we'll talk about it. It could also start a new beginning. It could start a new beginning. Oh no! Wait, I just pulled you in and it disconnected you. Wait. Time out. Do that again. I did create a new voice channel, so I don't know how the perms are set up at this point or how they work. Let's try this again. Harley! That was awesome. It didn't come through the live show because I didn't have it muted yet, or I had it muted. What's up?
Okay, I'm glad. Not too much. Kicking off the start of the season, we've got all our teams signed up. Been branching out from just the NECC over to ECAC as well as Playfly for a little bit to get our guys some extra competition, but that's not pertaining to the nuclear take that I have.
Nuclear take?
Yeah, this one may cause a bit of a kerfuffle in the esports community.
Oh.
Which is that I think that scholarships actively have damaged esports in a collegiate sense. I think in the way that creating facilities has produced opportunities for people to come in and engage with their community and compete and play to the extent that you don't need $1,000 investment to engage in this hobby and to compete and to engage in this scene at that level. Scholarships has done the opposite, making it so that if you are dedicating intense hours of your time to these games, that's all that I hear about anymore. It's people saying, "Hey, I want a full ride for this skill set. I'm top 500 in this game. I want a full ride." Meanwhile, from my experience, collegiate esports has been built on that sense of community, that kind of base level of I want to get involved with people who have the same hobby that I do. I think, unfortunately, people are starting to see it as not a cash grab, but definitely not just something that they can enjoy with their friends. And that scares me a little bit with the direction that things are going.
Interesting. So were you a part of a club as a student? Like an esports club?
You could say that. I ran the club at my alma mater for 3 years, and it is still currently a student-run club. I'm trying to get that off the ground a little bit. But then that was my start. That was my foray into collegiate esports.
Okay. And you fell in love with the opportunities you were afforded in that club, I'm assuming.
Yes, but
right.
And I do want to. I have a feeling I know where you're going with this. So I'm gonna save my piece for when you continue your point.
No. I like to get when we talk about anything related to like club I'm gonna put this in a club versus varsity argument. I would put and when I have conversations that are kind of related to that, or like student experience versus competitive program, I would say I think they don't have to be mutually exclusive, but I think they often are. I think I like to get people's perspective on like where they're coming from and like
Mhm.
what's their positive experience from collegiate esports. And
Okay.
I wanted to see if you came from the club side as a student or something along those lines, because I think your take makes sense if you're coming from it from that perspective. So like, hey, I was a student. I loved esports. Esports was fantastic as a student in a club setting. And now we're taking esports and making it work, and as in like a job, and we're putting money to it and it's not as fun. Is that kind of where I'm, does that resonate?
A little bit, yeah. I
Okay.
think that's a general sense of things, and I guess one of the things that I wanted to touch on really with what I thought you were going to go into is how how having a club space and having those opportunities may not be afforded to everyone, right? I'm sure there's many people who, especially in this day and age, may not be able to afford college and university. You know, it's a
True.
very privileged standpoint to come at it and say, hey, I was able to go to a state school, get all these wonderful experiences, graduate debt free, and immediately get into a job in the field that I am dedicated to. So obviously, this is not something that everyone is going to have, and so I wanted to kind of break down the fact that the club program at the institution is not. It is not. I don't want to say it's not very well run. It is very well run by the students, but it is not administrative supported. For the past 3 to 4 years, they have not had a facility since about 2021, I want to say, because following my graduation from the institution and COVID, once they came back, the computer science department prevented them from using the high tech computers that they had to use for gaming. They said, we we're going to need you to find a new spot, right? And so up till literally this year, they've had no space. And that prevented a lot of people from coming in, playing, and enjoying themselves. And that was the biggest barrier to entry that I've seen kind of firsthand. They lost a lot of membership through people who wanted a space to compete, people who don't have requisite equipment or things from their personal lives, and it ultimately took a toll. And, again, kind of circling back to the scholarships part, I do think scholarships are very, very good. Definitely. I think that it allows people to pursue their goals, pursue their passions, and compete and further their future in a way that is extremely important. And obviously, I think that there's points to be made for the current status of higher education as a whole and the direction that we're going in regards to cost, scholarships, value. But I'm not here to soapbox on that.
Yeah.
I think that full rides for esports is I don't want to say it's a little much, but I think it's really changing the scene to be profit first, whereas in the past it's been a way to gain your experiences and further your college journey with people, and uh, it was an extracurricular, right?
Right.
So
Right. Uh, my guess is, well, that's weird. Let me, I'm getting monitor feedback from myself, and I don't want that. That works. Okay. I think you would have similar. There would be similar conversations around traditional athletics and even the movement towards the transfer portal and
mm,
NIL. Because I think even like college football, for instance, has become basically just a money grab. Like wherever a kid can get paid to play. It says check audio input. Can you hear me? I think it should be fine. It says I'm pushing through audio. Um, it went to headset mic. Oh, 1 second. Let's see. Better. I hope it's better. All right. So I think you'd have similar conversations happening from traditional athletics. And I think you could also parallel this to when investor dollars entered esports. And I think I've had a lot of conversations recently about with some of the folks that I knew in the professional scene before franchising came in, about how like the experience of esports by its very nature has changed, and the pro scene has, without the ability to like relegation and open brackets, has become just not as enjoyable.
Hmm.
So I think the same, like the same, it's kind of the same thing. It's like when money becomes involved, does it tarnish the experience that we had before, if that makes
Hmm.
sense? Um,
Yeah. I think that's not a very that in itself is not a very bold take to have. I mean, I know many people who are saying, "Oh, the money ruined XYZ. As soon as there was money involved, this so and so became a sellout. So and so
right.
started doing." But I think that it's in the take that I dropped. I think there is a fine line to walk, because I think that yes, providing scholarships to allow people who are skilled at the game to compete and earn these opportunities for themselves is good, but I think placing too much emphasis on it and having it be the only focus where, you get emails from um I'm going to say like people from Brazil or
Mm.
somewhere else that wants to come to your university to play esports and they're looking for a full ride. It's it tends to set the priorities a tad askew, and while I can see that there is value in it, I think that there is a tightrope to walk for affording more opportunities without making it the primary focus, because as you've mentioned, traditional athletics has a similar perspective where it should be higher education should be about higher education. Just going to school to get a piece of paper while you're on your way to play pro football, baseball, hockey, soccer, what have you, it kind of defeats the purpose, right? It's diluted the main goal a little bit.
What do you think the priorities should be?
I think I think the priority should be to set a base level of expectation for the collegiate esports community. And this is something that I think people are working towards. I think many institutions are kind of reaching this kind of ground zero point of you have at the very least a place for students to compete. You have a staff member to oversee it to make sure that things are running smoothly. And you can, if you are willing to field competitive teams in that way, you have a little bit of funding to offer for scholarships. I think that is a good base level for everyone to be at. I think that that once that kind of becomes the norm, it will start to simmer down the expectations of I'm going to get a full ride, because
Mm.
everyone wants to have, a Maryville scholarship or a Boise State scholarship or a Harrisburg scholarship or a scholarship to any of the other stellar programs across the United States and Canada. If you're, I know there's a bunch of directors and leaders in this chat. If I didn't mention your program, I'm sorry, but the kind of high profile, top schools that they're like, I want to go here. Once you can get that at more schools than you can't, and that being any amount of scholarship money, I think that playing field will settle out a bit and people will stop necessarily going for the biggest, baddest programs and will start saying, okay, well, what do I want to do with this? It's not about going pro anymore. It's about, I can get this from just about anywhere. So now that I have
Mm.
options, where can I go?
Now, I think I might have had some type of similar take when I was at a small school and had very limited resources. And I don't want to throw
Mhm.
your argument out the window and say it's only because you're at a small school, but do you think it's because of your current circumstance that you have that take? And if you had more resources, would you still feel the same way?
I think it's definitely something to consider, right? That I absolutely am in this position where I feel that my institution can absolutely do this if I can find someone to give us some money, right? It's always about the
Right.
money, unfortunately.
Right.
I would love to do that. I would love to offer any amount of scholarships. I think that my goals would not change as much from the current institution that I'm at to if I were at a larger school. My goal would still be accessibility at the base level. And I think that that's the big thing is I'd like to refine my point a little bit to say that full ride scholarships from the biggest institutions, people see those and say, I want to go to college for free. I want to be able to, graduate with zero debt and, do all this. That's it can be good, it can be helpful, but the end goal should be providing as many opportunities as we can to as many people as possible, right? This is ultimately an industry built on community. It's built on that sense of I enjoy this, and I know there's other people who enjoy this, and I want to do this for as long as I can. And so to pretend that being top heavy with our scholarships and our talent is going to be the be all end all is, I think, disingenuous to the roots of the industry to begin with. And so ultimately, if I was at a large scale institution and had the money to throw around, absolutely I would have full ride scholarships for our top competitive teams, but I would also be setting up entry level scholarships for esports so that
Mm.
people who maybe have never been able to play on a PC before, but play Rocket League on like an Xbox that they picked up from eBay and want to just see what the competitive scene is like in college can come in and play, right, on some of the equipment that we bought so that people can play on it. To gatekeep and to put a glass castle around only being the best is is not uplifting the people who are interested and who want to learn more. I had a student come in who has never played any of the games that we offer, but he said, "This is really cool. I play some other games. I want you to coach me how to play one of these games." And I said, "Sure, I'll send you the forms and we'll sign it right up."
Okay. Um, Interesting. I think from my perspective, there are opportunities for anyone to get a scholarship if they want.
Mhm.
Not a full ride,
Oh, yeah.
but I think from my perspective, those schools are offering full rides because they believe there's a value to their institution for
Mhm.
doing that.
Mhm.
For Maryville, for instance, they track the amount of impressions that their esports team gets for their university. And based on how many impressions they bring by being super successful in CLOL, being super successful in CVAL, etc., all those impressions, the university can say, "Oh, you basically gave us $1 million worth of impressions. So if we were only giving
Mhm.
you 500,000, we're banking on this esports team."
Mhm.
And for them, the full rides and being super competitive, that's the value that they want as an institution. Um, so like from my perspective, it's like if the school is finding value in giving full rides, like why take that away? Or like what's the thought process behind it? But I also think that there's a bunch of value and probably maybe even more value in supporting a club scene, in supporting a student
Mhm.
organization on campus. So I'm not arguing against that idea.
Absolutely. And I saw some people in the chat who are saying that, yeah, I think there should be a difference between an esports program and a video game club because they are different communities, and you're absolutely right. And that's one of the things that I've been, I don't want to say struggling to delineate, but it's one of the things that I feel like many programs should set up that kind of opportunity for, right? Having a casual organization and a competitive scene. I think that there are two different worlds in video games, and I see someone said normalize walk-ons. Absolutely. It's I'm not saying that scholarships are bad, but right now in the state that the industry is in higher education and collegiate esports, scholarships have really set this expectation that in order to be an esports student athlete, in order to be like a high value esports student athlete, you need a you know, a X amount of scholarship. And it's, ultimately, I think at the end of the day, the accessibility is great. I think that providing more opportunities and allowing of course, the ROI for institutions, it's kind of that double-edged benefit where you get to provide these opportunities for people who want to come in and represent your school, your program, and then you also get the return with high levels of competition. You get impressions. You get put your name out there. You get to promote your school, your program, and all the things that you do. And in the end, I think, like I kind of laid it out, it is going to shift. Things are going to kind of become more, not more neutralized, but there we are again reaching that kind of base level expectation that everyone has of, I can go to this school or this school or this school or this school and I can get an esports scholarship because I do this, and I want to pursue my educational goals while playing competitive esports. So
Yeah.
that's my
Interesting.
that's my hot take.
I liked the intro coming in and just saying full rides are like esports scholarships should go away. I like that. That's good for the timeline.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's I get the reasoning behind it. Like I understand it. I think for me, from my experience was like I didn't have time to help support a club team. Like if a student came and wanted to start a club, go for it. I'll buy pizza. But like I didn't have time, and I would assume that most directors don't have time or the resources to support a club scene, but they would want to. And I think what's interesting is that like, okay, so when I was at Florida Southern, we had a arena that was open to all students to use. And we tracked the usage through a LAN software. And I tracked that in the first fall semester that I was there, I had over 10% of the entire student body come in and play something for an X amount of time. And that translated to 300 and something students. So that in one semester, instead of just impacting the 30 varsity players, I now can say to my administration, I am impacting 330 students. And I think that tells a really important story for most of our institutions. We can translate those numbers to helping retention. And recruitment, yes, but retention. I think retention is something that will continue to be talked about among our admins. And it's something that we can really affect. And I've seen, I mean, you've been affected by a club or being a part of a club as a student. I would bet that helped your institution retain you as a student, create a sense of community, etc., and some pride in your school. And that, I think it's just like trying to push coaches and directors to do that more. And the other part that I'm trying to think of, and now I'm blanking. Yeah, let me ruminate on that for a second, because there was one other topic I was going to talk about related to that. Now I can't think about it. Yeah. No, that was good. I like it. I like that conversation. But yeah, no, I agree with the idea of it. It almost feels like collegiate esports. Oh, I got the other thing. But first, collegiate esports is kind of feeling more like work and like suits than like the grassroots that we came to love when it comes to esports. Mm-hmm. But there's this conversation, or at least a conversation to be had about like, are we now just the old people yelling at the sky like this isn't our esports? But the new generation,
I'm only 25.
But the new generation is like, no, this is why I love esports, is because there's money on the line. It's super competitive. It almost feels like work. And that, I think, is an interesting thing, because I would argue the students in college don't even know what type, like they've never experienced what we have experienced when it comes to what is esports and like our experience of esports. Would they like it
Yeah,
if we pushed back
Mhm.
for what we wanted?
And that's an interesting perspective that I didn't really consider because, to be quite honest, you're absolutely right. When I was in college running the program at my alma mater, I loved the work. That's what I fell in
Yeah.
love with, was doing the work, was creating the events, was running the teams, was setting up the competition. The first SUNY League, I was throwing myself into work
Right.
because I wanted our teams to win and to do all the lives. I was doing live streams like every other day during the week.
Dang.
It was
Sheesh.
incredible. And it what's crazy is it legitimately resulted in some of my closest friends finding me, and now of course we spend hours each day once I'm out of work playing various other video games and talking about all the cool stuff that we've done recently. Um, but you're absolutely right, and that's something that I hadn't even considered as an option, was that the work is ultimately what we want people to fall in love with. It's not just existing in this space. It is pursuing a goal, pursuing an objective, because that's what makes people live.
It could be. I'm just saying it could
Mhm.
be, but also like
It could be, yeah.
I loved what esports used to be with like grassroots
Mhm.
and the connections you form with other humans. And are we doing our students and the next generation a disservice by limiting that? I think
Mm.
you and I would argue in favor of being more professional, if you will. And the other
Mhm.
topic I remembered I wanted to touch on was the full ride thing. And I think a lot of us in the space are guilty of promoting this idea of full rides because I don't believe that there's many full rides out there as we all think there are. First of all, I think we
Mm.
could come up with a list of which schools actually offer full rides, and I would think I'm pretty confident that that number is less than 15 out of
Mhm.
400 plus programs. I think it'd be less than 15. I could be wrong on that.
Mhm.
But when new parents are asking about scholarships, like a high school student, and I'm at an event promoting esports, I think I can fall into the pit of either saying or agreeing with someone who else suggests it that there are students getting full rides in esports as a way to legitimize what we're doing, but in turn creates false expectations of what their students or other students could be trying to get. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's that we want to shoot for the moon and say that we are offering all of these stellar opportunities and really showcasing the best of what the industry can be. But it can then, of course, not inflate the ego. That's not exactly the right term, but like set people's expectations a little high, which is why I personally, I didn't even realize I was doing it until you brought that up. But I realized that I say, yeah, people can earn scholarships for esports. Whenever people are asking about the validity of the industry, I say people can earn scholarships to go to college and to supplement their journey. Because in my eyes, it's the same thing where there are so few institutions that offer full rides. You're not going to, and not every player is going to be at that high level of competition where you're Radiant in Valorant, you're top 500 in Overwatch, or, rank X in Rocket League, that you're going to be qualified or
Right.
even in the running to receive a full ride. And especially with the small number and that the like 0.01% status of like traditional athletics, and then looking at collegiate esports, it's it is a little disingenuous to say, yeah, you can get full rides doing this, especially if, for example, your institution doesn't offer full rides. If you are not offering a full ride to that student, it begs the question, why mention it?
That's fair. I don't think I've ever tried to give the impression that my institution was offering it, but I have said that there are
Right.
institutions out there that do, which
Mhm.
is accurate and sounds way cooler than. But the majority of institutions just rename a scholarship, a coupon that you were already going to get as an esports scholarship. And for those in chat who have been at smaller institutions, probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And I still am kind of in the stance that a lot of this is just monopoly money, especially at smaller
Mm.
private institutions. Um, and I'll go on record as saying that because there have been instances where it would be a scholarship or a grant from the institution, and I just renamed it to esports scholarship because that's what our institution did. And that's messed up.
It's a little weird, that's for sure.
But that's just how private institutions operate. That's how all of traditional athletics was operating at this institution, and I believe at other institutions that I've talked to. But yeah, I like the idea of the conversation. And I don't know how you solve it, but I like the idea of
that's why they pay us the big bucks.
Right. Yeah, we're here to solve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it. That was a good
absolutely.
one. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for stopping by. Let's see if we got another hot take in chat. This is good. See ya. All right. That was good. Who's got another hot take they want to talk about? That was already half the show. What is happening? Oh my gosh. That was an interesting take. I liked it. Thanks, Harley, for coming on. I have full rides. You like Harley's last name? I like Harley's last name too. It looks very familiar to someone else in chat. You have full rides, but all sorts of students, for all sorts of students at UT if they come from Tennessee. Yeah, there you go. If they're in state, we can give them some money. Sorry. No, it has nothing to do with you yapping. We went back and forth for 30 minutes. It's crazy. What's up, legend? First time chatter, the Codemeister won. Did that sound kind of cool? I was listening to the radio today. I was like, maybe I should do the radio. That'd be a fun side hustle. Only kidding though. Looking at stuff. You're going to make that a soundbite? You should. I'm saying I can't give scholarships to graduate students. Yeah, there you go. There are some institutions that aren't allowed to award scholarships to grad students, and then there's some that can. And it's a lot easier to give a lot more money to a grad student or a higher percentage of their tuition because usually a grad degree is cheaper year by year than an undergraduate degree. At least that's been my... Grad school is cheap. Yeah. Compared to what like private institutions charge for undergrad now, like grad school, sheesh. Pennies on the dollar. Would all-star games in collegiate be popular? No. But there's no one watching regular season games. You think people would watch an all-star game? No. I think at some point they would be, yes. If you started to get fans of collegiate esports more than there are now, an all-star game would be dope. It could be with some games that like, so think like League of Legends. Like if you have like a couple Maryville players that are probably going to go pro, that could be kind of cool. But you also are in like a spot where like the Rocket League all-star team might be 3 kids from the same school. And it's just one of the top rosters. Also another interesting perspective there. Not a soul watches regular season games. Yeah. Except us. Yeah, that's true. I watch MSU games on occasion, but that's about it. And only certain games. Yeah. I did like Clerky's take on building better stories in esports. I don't know exactly what his take was, but yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool to get better stories created around our players and not just like, hey, this is the results of tonight's match. My private school grad program was the opposite of cheap, but I was bailed out by having blown up army mush brains. Oh, okay. I mean, that's one way to do it. The other way is to get a full ride esports scholarship. Or you work at an institution that gives you a discount. Ideally free, but that is not what I had. But I'm not salty about it. He just says it's about people saying you suck or you suck more. Yeah, that's yes, agreed. That is what collegiate esports is from a promotion standpoint. I mean, that can also be in one of those things that like directors and coaches don't have time to theorize and create storylines or stories to put out. But maybe that's not true. I don't know. Was it the take regarding getting away from trash talk storylines? I think that's what they're talking about. Back to the All-Star game, though. I would love to see all Americans in esports. That would be cool. I guess the question is like, who determines who those are? I know NACE has their own quote unquote All Americans. I think it's called All NACE. Or like the All NACE teams. I don't know if the All NACE one was where every school picks 2 of their students to give it to, or if it's like I think it's the All NACE teams, like, and they did the competition council or somebody determines that the All American teams, quote unquote. Time for there to be 20 different All-Star games, all claiming to be All American. True. But what's also interesting about esports is that like there's so much strategy that like, can you put the 5 best league players on a team to play in an all-star game and it be good? That, yes, you can. Okay. I mean, I've seen it in like Counter-Strike before, but can you do the same with like Overwatch? I guess that's what ranked play is, theoretically. You give them some prep. Chemistry is so critical in team games. At the highest level, absolutely. We have all SEC. You have all SEC. Okay. That's what the World Cup for Overwatch is. That's true. Yeah, that's true. So you give them a little bit of prep time. Each league should have their all-star game team play against other leagues. Oh, that could be cool. Except like for teams that are in multiple leagues, like who gets to take those players? That would be really interesting though. Like the all NACE roster versus the all NECC roster. You only get one all-star team. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of a cool idea. That could be entertaining. I don't know. But again, I think I go back to the no one watches collegiate esports. No one's going to watch that. That's my take. It does sound fun though. Kind of like some interleague competition. So you can't play on multiple ones. Same. It would be close to the same players, but you would just basically, those players would pick, and then the next best players on the other team would get pulled up. Too bad no leagues keep good stats, so it would just be picking players based on the eye test. Also true. Smash All-Stars would just be a round robin of the same 6 kids. True. Could be true. All we do is championship MVPs right now, and I know the MAC posts the MVP's name on their website. Yeah, and we had like in the WAC, I believe they did like all tournament teams, and the coaches would kind of nominate and vote for those. Excuse me. We did that at Peach Belt as well. And we kind of put forward our names for players. But a lot of it was like there were 2 decent teams of League of Legends, and like the whole first team and second team was basically those 2 rosters. 4 of the 6 would be from Fitcher. Yeah, I think you would see something similar to that. But I think we're going to talk next week on, I'm going to have Kurt from Co-College on, and he's pulled together the registration numbers of all like the big major leagues. And we're going to have a conversation about where that status is, because there is some shakeup that's been happening with leagues. And I think teams opting for more conference play and maybe only doing one national league, if any. So the registration numbers have kind of changed a little bit. ECAC is a lot bigger than I expected, and I want to know where are these schools coming from. And I don't know if it's just like a bunch of East Coast schools have popped up in the last 2 years that I've just not been aware of, because ECAC has historically been really strong on the East Coast, especially Northeast Coast. Or I don't know, a bunch of people doing ECAC. ECAC is intriguing. I agree. Totally agree. ECAC offers so many more games that they get so many more schools. Yeah, we're looking specifically at the 4 big titles, and ECAC was really big. But I can see how if they offer more of the other games that like schools would just decide to be an ECAC for everything. If ECAC is the only one that offers TFT, for example. Yeah, you saw my DM. I did see your DM. I think everyone goes to ECAC for the niche titles. Yeah, that's fair. Club teams compete in ECAC because it's the cheapest option with the most titles. That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. It'll be interesting to look at the final numbers on that. I'm going to take off that. But yeah, that'll be really interesting to look at. Do y'all notice the NASCAR job posted in my Discord? There's this collegiate esports community Discord that just was created, as well as voice. They both automatically pull my job listings, and I think that is bringing more people into my server because in the collegiate esports community server, under jobs and internships, it says my server, and it puts the listing that I put out there. So it's like a little bit of a marketing. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. All right. If Jorge doesn't get it, we riot. I didn't know Jorge was applying. Do it. Thoughts on new collegiate esports community Discord? I honestly haven't spent much time. Bunch of people who are pretty active in collegiate esports, and it seems like they're going to keep it up to date and active and useful. I don't need another Discord. I don't know about you all. And I definitely I don't want it to take away from the liveliness of my Discord, selfishly. But I like that it's multiple people. I like that they have some cool ways to keep things updated. A lot of community focused channels. Like that's all super positive. And that they're pulling from my job board is massive because I've tried to get other servers to do that. And for some reason, other servers don't want to do it. So shout out to them and Voice for being the first ones to allow that to happen. Instead of having dead job boards, they've decided to actually let my work help them. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why other servers didn't want that to happen. Whatever. I see that one is heavily focused on broadcast marketing efforts. That could be very true. I mean, the people in charge are very focused on production. Obviously, you have Sean Kelly and Ian, both definitely broadcast heavy people. And then I believe DJ's in there. Mr. Bepic, who is a caster. So you have a lot of people who are focused on production. I get that. But I don't know. I don't think that's their hope. Maybe. Antor's job board, my beloved. I hope. I mean, I'm doing all this work. You don't have to do that much work. Like, I don't know. Just take it. Don't overwork yourselves. If I'm doing this, just do it. That's probably been the most successful. No, that it has been the most successful piece of my Discord. I wish I could recreate that value in other ways. So if anyone has ideas, let me know. But yeah, I really like it. And now I've been pulling the information into Google Sheets and use that even in presentations already. So it's valuable for me too. I think it's a very good for TOing and making sure things don't overlap, plus offering casting and other broadcasting production information. Definitely. I like it, but I don't get the purpose of it. I know the original intent, but I'm not sure of the purpose of it now. I don't either. That's fair. I'm going to share your job board in the CG. Do it. Beautiful. Great. New collegiate college football is having their first show matches this Wednesday. Oh, nice. Good. It's about time people did something with that game. Oh my gosh. It's ridiculous. There's literally a college football game out there and we haven't done anything with it. Ran by TJ. Oh, of course. The guy who won that one tournament. Like, oh, I'm really good at this game, so I'm just going to start. I'm going to start a tournament so I can win it. Thoughts on Marvel Rivals in collegiate esports? Okay, honestly, confession, I have not played Marvel Rivals. I watched it for 30 seconds and thought, this looks like Overwatch. I'm not touching this. So that's where I'm at. I'm also not a huge superhero guy. Like, I've never really seen many superhero movies. I don't enjoy them. So I'm out. But I would say that, like, on Twitch, it seems like the big streamers have been playing it for a long time, more than just like their sponsorships. So they're enjoying it, which is a positive thing. But is it going to die in a month? I don't know. I love Marvel movies, hate Overwatch. Fair. You have to be good at the games you start tournaments for. Oh no, I'm cooked. Yeah, Overwatch, but better. Well, if it's better, students don't know this. Don't tell them. I've got an idea. Antor's Community Clash Tournament. Let directors show their students how the old heads kick it. Interesting. We could do something like that. I could do more community stuff. I could do that. It's not a bad idea. But everyone plays different games. The most certainly no. Challenge me on stream and just outright wash me. That's fair. I get washed by my students in every game. So although I've been playing a lot of Escape from Tarkov, I'm getting better. I'm getting pretty good. All right. Getting pretty good. I'm down to absolutely floor other directors any game. All right. Not me. I will get floored in every game. Yeah, it won't be good. It would not be good. It would not be good. I make it perfectly clear to my students my two games are Tetris and competitive speed typing. Those are the two areas that I'm 100% wiping the floor. Hey, that's nice. Fun party trick. Yeah, that's good. I don't have any. I am average at everything. It's fine. I can hold my own. I'm not embarrassing. Okay. Number one Bantor with Antor player in the world. That's a fact. Hey, that's true. That's true. And we're not going to test that. So undisputed. They won't step up against me in Age of Empire 2 or GeoGuessr. Hey, GeoGuessr's fun. AoE 2 would be good. Although I just like mining stuff and getting resources. I don't like fighting. Can we just like not do that? You could beat us all at running. That's fair. Sure. Although I haven't ran in like a month or two. I've been going to the gym instead, and running outside in the cold is awful. So no bueno. Although I do have a half marathon in 24 days. So that'll be fun. Going down to Disney and competing in the Disney Princess Weekend Half Marathon. I have half a pizza tonight. Oof. Jealous. That sounds great. Do you get to dress up at least? If I want. They have like a whole like list of rules for costumes. I haven't even thought about it. I just want to live. Like I want to just survive. Although like for me, I haven't ran in like 2 months. Okay. And someone was asking me like, so are you going to train like at all? You have like a month left. I'm like, let's see. I ran 3 marathons last year. I think I could just show up and run a half marathon. So that's where I'm kind of sitting right now. Like, I think I could just show, and it's like, okay, so Saturday is a 10K that I'm running, so 6 miles. And then the next day is 13 miles. I think I could just show up and run 13 miles. Right? Am I crazy? I don't know. Like, ask me 2 years ago, I would have said I'm crazy. But like now I'm like, every marathon I run, like at mile 15, which is longer than a half marathon, I'm like, this is great. I love this. It's like everything past 15 miles is like, this is awful. Why did I do this? I hate this. Like, get me out. So would love to see more fitness challenges between esports programs. Yeah, I agree. I'm down. I loved the fitness challenges that they did, the esports ones, although they were sketch, and the winners of those competitions are sketch. Okay. There was people. Okay. So, oh boy, here we go. The people who won basically they went to their fitness app, saw how many steps they had taken in the day, and entered that in as fitness or as a workout. And all those points, they stomped everybody. It was like 2 people and they came in at the end and they put it in. And that's not the point of a fitness challenge, okay? And I was training for marathon. Dude, if I'm running 50 miles a week and you're beating me from a fitness perspective, you have problems, okay? Because I know I have problems. So you really have problems. So you should get that checked out, first of all. And second of all, don't cheat. You're cheating. And then I brought it up in the app. I'm like, this is what they're doing. It's messed up. And then I had people DM me privately and say, yeah, it is messed up. But then on the app publicly, they're like, this is just for fun. I'm like, then why is it a challenge and why is there a leaderboard? Gah! So I stopped. It's stupid. It's dumb. I'm competitive. I'm competitive and people were cheating. They were putting in walks at like 1 a.m. for like 3 hours. It's not true. And the people in charge thought it was just for fun too. So I'm like, all right, screw this. I'm not here to have fun, okay? I'm here to win. Sorry. All right. Sorry, I gotta chill. Collegiate rock climbing esports edition. That'd be sick. Some people banking miles they didn't really get. Yeah, dude, they were banking miles. I only did it, like I had it connected to my Apple Watch, so my Apple Watch would automatically upload it based on what it tracked, which makes sense. But then there's people who like when they're saying when they lift, you don't wear an Apple Watch, so you got to be able to manually put it in. And so there's some trust there, and that I'm not opposed to that. But then you also have people who are like putting in weightlifting for like 4 hours a day. And you know they're just going in the gym. If they're even in the gym, they're going in the gym, they're sitting there for 3 hours. They might lift for 20 minutes. You lift for 20 seconds, you break for 5 minutes, walk around, hit your muscles a little bit, lift for 20 more seconds, then you hit your muscles a little bit more. They weren't actually lifting for 3 hours. All right. When is the NECC Executive Committee going to rule on that? That's a good question. I have my appeal ready when they issue the ruling. Make it a deadlift only challenge. Let's be men about this. No, I need the cardio. I did, in all fairness, when they first made the challenge, I looked at the points awarded and I told Bear was involved in the beginning. I don't think he wasn't the person in charge, but he was kind of involved. And I told him like running gets too many points. I'm telling you right now, like running gets too many points. Walking gets too many points. Like I've been running for a long time, for a year. It gets too many points. I should not be able to like jump from 50th place to first after one afternoon run. So like I was being fair too. I was being transparent there. Walking to the bathroom is not fitness. Exactly. Yeah, that's what people were doing. They were literally just pulling up how many steps they had throughout the day and putting that in as fitness. That is not fitness, okay? Sitting on the weight bench, scrolling TikTok. Yeah, you know they were banking points for scrolling on TikTok in the gym, okay? That ain't working out. That ain't fitness challenge. And I think I put in there like, hey, if this is how we're gonna play this, I could put this in here and triple everybody's points. But I'm not. That's not the point of this competition, okay? Yeah, I got heated. Stupid. Sport blaming Bear. He's too handsome these days. That's true. Bear's looking too good. Losing all that weight, hitting the gym like crazy. Dang. Running now. I remember when I talked to him and he's like, I was like, dude, just go run a 5K. And he's like, no, you can't just run a 5K. And the dude, like, he runs way more than that now. It's all progressive. You got to go out there, jog your first half mile, be done. Go the next day, jog another half mile. And before you know it, you're going to be running marathons. That's how I did it. It's crazy. And the big kicker is like the amount of calories you burn running is crazy. It lets you eat so much. And now the problem is I don't run anymore and I still eat like I'm running. That's the problem. I've gained like 7 pounds. It's crazy. Progression is linear. It is. And it's also frustrating because if I start trying to run now, like I'm not going to be able to run as much as I did 2 months ago. It's crazy how like fast you lose that too. Like the ability to just like run crazy amounts. Oh man, I got fired up there. Woo! That was fun. I got 3 minutes. I could go a little bit over. But yeah. What is this? Whoa. Nvidia stock down 17%. Whoa, that's crazy. My brother said it's DeepSeek AI is causing this. Is a Chinese AI company that now has most downloaded app on the App Store. Direct competitor to ChatGPT. I haven't heard of any of this. Everyone freaking out about DeepSeek. I've never even heard this, man. This is the problem with higher education and faculty members. They're so stuck in the past. They can't keep up. I'm working on I'm making lectures based on the facts that are out yesterday. Now I don't have stuff that's open the internet today. Get on the internet, dude. Dude, I am on the internet right now. You guys are supposed to keep me up on this stuff. And I just pressed Twitter and it says this page is down. Oh my gosh. The world is crumbling. Okay. Chris Postel put out a tweet about when would you like the trends report? Go vote on it. April or May? I think it should be May. Stock market crash. Why is that a trending thing on my Twitter? What is happening? Oh my gosh. Good thing I don't have much of the stock market. It's just my retirement. Why is stock down for Nvidia? Something about some Chinese company that does AI better than ChatGPT or something on their old hardware. I don't know. Oh, it's just Nvidia. Is just Nvidia that's down? Yeah, but Nvidia's like crazy high stock. Like, I don't know if you guys have like looked at the stock market in the last like 6 months, but Nvidia's like top 3 company now? Because I just talked about it. Oh man, I'm influencing things. Don't tell the FTC. Top 1, 2. Yeah. Which is crazy. I think I remember owning stock in Nvidia like in 2020. I don't have it anymore. So don't come get me. I have no money. But yeah, that's a pretty big drop, folks. Down 17%. Now, how does that affect like the S&P? Down 2%. So it brings down the whole. Okay, cool. What about the Dow? Dow's up. But S&P down 2%. That's a pretty big dip. Okay. All right. I'm losing viewers. Yeah, I'm not supposed to talk about money. I shouldn't. It's boring. But yeah. I got to record 2 more lectures today, and then play probably Escape from Tarkov, and then make dinner. And what else do I got to do? I got to put out the trash tonight. Tonight's trash day. Nice yapping. I appreciate that. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. This was a fun one. I liked the idea of like an open mic. So if anyone has like this hot take they want to bring to the chat or to the show, let me know. I think I'm going to keep that. If there's not other things to discuss, I really like the idea of like someone else come bring a hot take and let's talk about it. Cause, yeah, I don't know. I get a little bit of mind block, and I also don't realize like what is a hot take at these points. Cause like, I don't know, when you always have hot takes, they just become normal to you also. FGC is the future. Would you like to know more? I would love to know more. Let's talk about FGC at some point. Because I also agree that it's big. Yeah, it's cool. I'm all about it. No bias here. Hey, no bias here either. I just bought Smash, and I still have to unlock all the characters. Always been a Smash supporter, but beyond that, I've never played most games. Brawlhalla is kind of fun. Thoughts on Scholastic Esports Awards backlash on multiple director program of the year? Hey, you can check out my last week episode on YouTube where I talk about it, but the long and short of it is like, I don't like the idea of multiple people getting the same award. I think it lowers the value of that award. I'm fine with the idea of like a 2-year program director of the year and a 4-year program director of the year. Totally fine. That makes sense. Giving 2 awards to 2 4-year directors of the year and 2 to the 2-year directors of the year doesn't make sense to me. And I think it's a symptom of a soft industry. There's my spicy take. I think our space is too soft with that in regard to that. How did we go from FGC to Smash and Brawlhalla? How are those related? Aren't they the same? I don't know. Brought up Brawlhalla and the one time and they about ran me out of business. Well, that's because the FGC is a interesting community that's not they're very welcoming of people into their game titles, but they're not very welcoming about other game titles. Okay, that's just how it is. I don't know the difference between Smash and I do know some of the discourse. Okay, but someone's got to be the adult in the room and just be like, hey, this is what's happening. All right, that's where I'm at. Yeah. Should I wrap this up? I should wrap this up. Yeah, I should wrap this up. All right. I will talk to you all next week. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I know competition's starting soon. Registration's wrapping up for a lot of the leagues today, if it hasn't already. I know NACE wraps up registration today. I think Playfly, Varsity Plus and Open Plus wraps up today at midnight. So if you haven't, placement matches for NECC are tonight and this week. Good luck. Yeah, get your teams registered if they aren't registered already in those leagues, and good luck in your placement matches. CLOL and CVAL was on Saturday. Woohoo! Great. I'm excited to hear about that. And I also want to, pretty soon, I want to have the, what is that league that I want to talk about? I'm going to have a new league on here. Logan Lewis, not the one from Akron, but the one who started the Collegiate Conference Series, which is like the D1 Rocket League. I want to have him on if he'd be willing. And I want to talk about CCS because it's getting big. There's a lot of teams in CCS now. And I think it's an interesting concept. Obviously not a huge fan of D1 stuff, but I get it. And there's a lot of people going that way. And I think it's indicative of where kind of our space is heading. Yeah, we'll talk about it. All right, everybody, get out of here. Have a great week. Good luck on your matches if you got them. I'll talk to you later. Peace.